Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that one of our admin received, and the translation reads like this. Hello, how are you? Can you please post my own story as anonymous? I am not your ordinary woman. I am 31, really beautiful, and I am admired by many. But my brother, there are people out there that keep on testing my patience. Rather than admiring me, most of the men out there, if they knew a lot about me, they would end up being scared of me. Because once I get you in my life, it will be very difficult for you to get out unless I kick you out. And the time that I spit you out like a python, I would have made sure that I would have taken everything from you. Yes, I am very beautiful, but my beauty as well, it comes with a curse. I was given power by my own grandmother, who was a sangoma. But even though my grandmother used to be someone who used to live an honest life, but she said that the problem is that when you are a faithful woman, a herbalist who helps people in the community, they just take advantage of you. And indeed, when we were growing up, there were days when we would go sometimes to bed hungry, but my grandmother would be assisting people that will come to me, especially those that would be working in the corporate industry as well, in the government, wanting my grandmother to assist them. But after the person would have gotten a promotion, will never remember my grandmother. That was when she turned a witch. Yes, indeed, my grandmother turned herself into a witch, and she said it is far much better to deal with these Nigerians, because at that time, before the man had passed away, there was a man who started staying in our community. He was a well-known drug dealer. He came once to my grandmother. He wanted my grandmother to give him some charms. These charms were going to assist him so that he won't get arrested so easily. I don't know how true it was, but my grandmother said that this man, he was once arrested, and after he had been arrested, the police later on, they did not find him at the back of the police van because of the charms that my grandmother had given to this man. I got so interested. Besides, she was the one who liked me the most, like I was a favorite amongst all of her granddaughters. And most of the times she would teach me how to cast spells on people. I would cast spells on some teachers at school, as well as those that I did not like. There was a girl who even failed her matric, all because of me. I just did not like her. She was ugly and she was very intelligent. I said, when you are smart, you are supposed to be beautiful. The way that she was just ugly was what made me to cast a spell on her. You may judge me if you wish, but I really do not regret anything, because I did not choose to become a witch, but my grandmother chose this life for me. Fast forward, it all started so simple. My neighbors, I liked them and I hated them. I only liked them whenever they will be fighting against each other. And whenever there will be a happy family, I would find them to be very pathetic. That was when I said, these people, they have not fought for a very long time. You know, as neighbors, you always gossip against each other. There was a time that I was busy gossiping with this other woman from the same street. This woman, she has since passed away. People think that she just died from natural cancer, but it was me who was punishing her, because she went and she reported to that neighbor, since I was telling her that, you know, they do not have a good life and she is always fighting with her husband. She can just pretend, but things are not okay for her. And I was complaining about how they would make loud noise and how her kids were just your spoiled brats. I was mocking her. And at that time when she reported this issue, I just apologized, for I knew that this battle, I was going to fight it at night. So at night I went and then I bewitched her, fed her some food, knowing that this food that I was feeding her was going to make her to have cancer. I kept on saying, you are going to suffer, you are going to suffer. After she had passed away, I tried to reason with myself, telling this spirit of witchcraft not to make me to do this anymore, for I did not want to bewitch this woman. She was suffering already. but she became arrogant as well since I had apologized to her. One evening, as I stood by my window watching her play with her kids, I made my decision that night. I then went to another witch who also practices a sangoma, but he is just a witch. I went to him and I said, I want them to suffer, not just the parents, the children too. I want their joy to turn to ash. I want their laughter to become screams of pain. And he said that, yes, that one we can do. That night, whilst the whole neighborhood was fast asleep, I crept into their yard. Their dog did not give me any problems, for it already knew me already, and it did not bark, it did not do anything. Besides, I had some charms that I had which can make a dog not to bark at you. I have since sold these things to some people that are shady. I think that they are criminals. There was a guy who said that he wanted some charms that can help him when he is moving from house to house in the middle of the night. So after I had buried these charms, then the youngest amongst her children, barely 3 years old, developed a persistent cough. Then came the fevers. She would come to me. I would give the little boy some herbs, saying that there is nothing that works like our traditional herbs. But each and every time that I'll be giving the boy the herbs, I would be making the situation to be worse and worse. And the other children followed as well. Their parents, they were running up and down. I would laugh because I would see as they would be blowing their money, running to the doctors, calling pastors. And I laughed so hard when I saw one day a sangoma, and I was like, hey, where are you now, my fellow Christians? You are now bringing sangomas into your homes. What did you used to say when I would bring sangoma into my house? You would say that those are the devils. So who is bringing a devil now into their home? I was really excited the day that I knew that they were no longer praying, because they used to irritate me a lot. So after that, that was when that small boy passed away. After the small boy had passed away, I only saw him once. I saw his ghost one night, and then he looked at me and he started crying. But when he was crying, I insulted him. As someone who is a witch as I am not scared of seeing a spirit. How can I be afraid of a spirit when I know that I have the power to kill, to destroy? So I told him to go and rest, and he said, I don't know, where am I supposed to go and rest? For my mother came to my grave and said, wake up, my son, fight against the person that killed you. That is why I find myself here in your home. I then told him that I was going to take a branch of a tree, and I wanted him to follow that branch of the tree. Got into my car. This was somewhere around 2 a.m. I spoke with him until I arrived at the grave where he was buried, and I said, rest here. I want you to rest here. And I left that tree branch in that graveyard, and I returned back home. So this is what I have been doing. This is the gift that my own grandmother gave to me. I even sometimes think of opening up my little shop as well as a sangoma. It is just that I am too busy, man, because I have a lot of men that I do date that do take care of me. When I say that I have a lot of people that I am dating, it's not like I don't have a husband. I do have a husband, but he's just useless. The man, I gave him a lot of charms. There is nothing that he can do about whatever that I want to do. I'm so glad because there are platforms like this where we can vent out our anger and frustrations. These people, my neighbors, they used to frustrate me a lot. And when someone is apologized, do not think that the person is weak. An apology does not make you someone who is weak. So she thought that I was weak. She was much more clever than I was, and I had to triple punish her. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our admin who helped us with this translation.